All right. Sorry. There we go. Let's go back. I can't cut that actually because I'm streaming. Anyway, I can't cut it. Let me know as soon as possible, please. Okay. Look, I did close that off to cough earlier on. Okay. What I was talking about was Tyro on screen. Let's restart, reboot. And I said to you that it's not something I would buy, and I can determine that instantaneously. And I think that if you can't instantaneously determine whether you should be a buy, hold, or sell for any stock in your portfolio, any stock you might have a look at to consider adding to a portfolio, I think you're doing it wrong. So we want to have this ability to very quickly just vet out companies. That doesn't mean we can't buy them tomorrow or the next day or the day after, but what are we doing today with our money? And first and foremost, I go to my long-term trends, as you know, and I've got these long-term trend ribbons here. Nothing special about them, 144 and 233 EMAs. They're on every technical analysis platform you'll ever get. 100% they have moving averages, 100% they have exponential moving averages, and it is dead simple to put them on your screen. And basically, I can't buy a stock which doesn't, at the very least, have those moving averages turning up, or at least the faster of the two, the 144, starting to move up towards the 233, telling me that we're losing momentum in that long-term downtrend. So it's not that I can't buy a stock in a long-term downtrend. As you know, I do buy stocks in long-term downtrends quite often. I just at least, the very least, need to see that that long-term downtrend is losing momentum. And then my short-term trend is going to come into it. And then my price action is going to come into it. Then my candles are going to come into it. So it's not that I can't buy stocks in long-term downtrends. It's not true. I at least need to see some changing in the underlying demand-supply environment to suggest that that downtrend is diminishing. And the reason why I have the rule, and you can have your own rules. Your rules are your rules. My rules are my rules. If you're here, you're here to hear my rules. I don't care what you do. Honestly, I could not care less. But this is the way I do it. If that thing is dark pink, I can't buy. It's as simple as that. And it is just such a reliable system. It's such a reliable methodology. Because I'm going to put to you right here, there are a bunch of fundamental analysts and value investors telling you that this stock was really cheap, that it was just a pullback, that it's nothing to worry about. And of course, we had some bad news here. This was where the big outage, was it not? That's how long ago it was. But I just can't buy it. It's as simple as that. And I still can't buy it. 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 I can consider it. If the other stuff is looking good, I can consider it through here. In fact, I'm pretty sure I ran it as a buy on this day here. Definitely that day, maybe not that day. Go check the tapes. 100%, I would have put that in as a plus 1/3. I don't need to go back and check my Twitter shortlist. I know just through the consistency of my process that that's a buy. It's as simple as that. That right there is a buy, because we're starting to turn the trend. We've changed the price action from lower peaks and lower troughs consistently with predominantly black candles to higher peaks, higher troughs with, let's say, predominantly white candles, certainly at the end. And then we're turning that long-term downtrend zone from a resistance zone where price cannot get above to a support zone where price is starting to not be able to get beneath. So 100% that's a buy there for me. And this, for me, is what we call it a turnaround setup. So turnaround setup, and you've got your turnaround setups, and the other one is the continuation setup. And we'll look at some of those today, but this is not it. And I do like to have a mix of those setups in my portfolio at any one time. So 100%, that is an unequivocal buy. And then look what happened. 100% you would have lost money on that buy. Okay. And then back into everything's normal. We've got another buy here. And what I will say about these turnaround setups is that they are a higher risk setup than the continuation place. And this is a great case study because we're seeing how this works. I don't know. I think it's a bit flat to add plus 1/3 there, but I'd be looking to do it, and then bang, you're out. So we've got 2 losses here. This is actually a fantastic case study. We've got 2 losses straight up, and now we just can't buy it again. It's like ho hum, and who cares? Even here, this is not yet a buy, because what I like to see is that peak, that trough being formed above the zone. I think that's too aggressive. Now we're back into the buy area. Just give me one big white candle that closes on the high. We didn't get it. You could see how tough this is. Okay. And can't get to the point. I think I've made my point. I think I've made my point. Look at that in there. Couldn't get back above it. Is this something you want to muck around with? I mean, do you want your life to be easy or do you want your life to be hard? And I just can't buy this right now. Doesn't mean it's a bad stock. No, I wouldn't have a clue, and I don't care. I've spent too much time on it. Thanks, Craig. Let's go. Do I need to do any more analysis? I didn't talk about the price action here. I didn't talk about the short-term trends. Like, that is the filter you need right there. Stop wasting your time, everyone. Be more productive. From Kevin, I need to be more productive and keep the button on my microphone on the whole time, don't I? Okay, I was just wondering if you had a previous video explaining in some detail behind the concepts you apply. Not really. I mean, all the videos I've ever done, Kevin, explain the concepts as I apply them. And if you knew, don't worry, you'll get a handle of it, because each time I do it, it frustrates the hell out of a bunch of people. Yes, I cover stocks, but I do a lot of education. Don't worry, you will pick it up very quickly because it's a very simple system. If anybody disagrees from the long-termers, my long-suffering viewers, if you disagree, type it in. Say, hey, no, Kevin, you won't get it. Stop watching. But I think they'll all agree you will get it. GMD, let's keep moving. All right, I like this one straight away. Look at that. Where's your eye? Where did your eye just go, Ariane? Where did your eye just go? And I don't want you to go to the candles just yet. I think when you know the system inside out, you will go to the candles, because it took you that long to assess this and this. Is that fair to say? Like, the better you get at this, this stuff happens quickly, and then your eyes go in price action and candles. But when you're starting out with this model, I think your eye should go, and I stuffed it up because my colors and Amy Broker's just insanely difficult to draw with, but there are more difficult platforms out there. So up and up, okay? The fact we've got that dark green zone, it means I can look at it. I'm not wasting my time if I then start to investigate the short-term trends. The other thing that's really important, Kevin, is that every time we assess a new company, we should look at it with a default zoom. So this one doesn't ring a bell. It's certainly one I've been putting in my Twitter shortlist. I think I put it in yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. And it is a turnaround play, 100% more of a turnaround play, because you can see we're not bottom left, top right yet, but we have gone through this phase where the long-term trend had to transition. And we've gone from a point, I was going to say, where it's resisting. It's so choppy, isn't it? But it hasn't really resisted to the downside, but it is looking like it's supporting to the upside. The short-term trend, so that's first tick. Long-term trend is turning up, and it looks like it's offering dynamic support, not resistance. Next one is short-term trend. That one's also up. Is it offering dynamic support? It is offering dynamic support. Big tick. Next place we go is the price action. Ideally, good price action looks like this. You've got very long motive phases. Motive just means moving. And then you've got your little correctional phases or pullback phases or counter trend phases, whatever you want to call them. So let's call them counter trend. And then you've got your motive, which is your moving. So you've got very small counter trends versus very large motive phases. So this is what we call good price action. Good price action. And you could code this if you wanted to. You could say you need a minimum ratio of motive phases to counter trend phases. You could code this and say that the last trough, so we call this a trough, which I call them points of demand, is at or above the second last peak, which I call point of supply. And that's another way, just really to say the same thing, but we're putting some rules around these things. So this is a good price action. Do we have that on screen? Well, let's start here. We don't have to go all the way back to day dot and draw it in. You can see some compression coming in through there. That's not a down because there's no lower highs and lower lows. That's all good. That's all good. This actually just keeps going. So this one is through here. And we'll do some more on the rules for how I draw those. Basically, higher highs, higher lows, you have a short-term uptrend. Lower highs, lower lows, you have a short-term downtrend. And if you don't have those conditions, don't draw the next trend. It's very simple. So this price action obviously is going to be overlapping with what we had before it, but we have had a bit of a consolidation phase there. But the motive phase is looking so far more than this last corrective phase. So no issues with that. I know we've had a little bit of a compression and to put another little, twist on it. Well, why did we get the compression there? Because we had this big point of supply. So the more you listen, I keep speaking to Kevin, the more you'll get it. Point of demand, not a point of demand, point of supply. What is a point of supply? It's a point in the past where we have seen lots of supply. Did we see lots of supply here? Of course we did. Look at that. Okay, and it takes time. It takes time for the price to build itself up and get through the supply. There are a lot of people who got stuck in up here, looking at that as a point to get out. In fact, probably reinforced even going back. So good news. We saw some compression through here. That's okay. Breaking up, some decent candles. I need to see a higher close here to buy it. If you didn't buy it this morning, which is really what the yesterday's indication suggests, then just wait for the next white candle, the next nice lower shadow. But I think this is looking good now. I think it can move into the next most important point of supply, which is up here. And there's obviously one over here as well. So you can see those two reinforce each other, and then there's one up here as well. So that's probably where we're headed. Buy, hold, sell. If you've got it, happy hold. I can't see any reason to sell it based upon the candles I've got. If you don't have it, the analysis suggests, and that's all we're trying to do, is get to the conclusion where is there excess demand in the system? I do believe there's excess demand in the system. I want somebody to tell me, Carl, no, there's excess supply. And you can't. Looking at that chart, considering the candles, considering the price section, you have to agree there's excess demand. Why is there excess demand? Probably because it's a decent company. Is it a decent company? I wouldn't have a clue, nor do I care. But let us check it out. GMD, we'll go over here. And this is the Thomson Reuters Refinitiv Icon platform. And I just blew it there, didn't I? No broker coverage. Not my fault. Don't blame me. Thomson Reuters, global financial data provider or gatherer. Refinitiv Icon is the product, and they go out and survey a bunch of brokers, of which we have none. So there are no big brokers covering this that at least report to Thomson Reuters, and therefore we can't aggregate the data. I can't give you a fundamental valuation on this one. Not from trying, though. Let us head back here. Got to keep moving to the next one here, which is Pacific Current, which still looks good. I don't know if I'm a buyer, just on the basis that I don't know how long it'll take, David, for the next phase of this to play out, and I don't want to be just stuck in it while it does. But if you have it, and I don't mind having some skin in the game. I think you've probably got at least some of it out, just on the basis that, job's kind of done. There's a takeover in play. Maybe you've got 2/3 in it. Maybe you've got a third in it to see what else you can get out of this. Because it certainly looks like there's an improved offer. I'm not sure if there's a competing offer coming. I don't think there's many suitors here, apart from us at GQG, I want to say, is the other funds management group that's looking to acquire these guys. But maybe there's a sweetened offer. I don't know about it. I don't follow it. Why don't I follow it? Because I couldn't be bothered wasting my time keeping up with what's going on there. What an absolute waste of time. But based upon the technicals, it's certainly indicating excess demand, isn't it? Why is there excess demand? Why aren't people just selling out and just going on to the next shiny new thing? Because they think there's more in it. The supply is withholding. The supply is saying, no, we want to hang in. We want to see what else there is as well. So I'm with them. I'm going to vote with them. King saying, g'day, Carl. After your thoughts on JLG, which is this one here. I don't need to spend very long on this, do I, King? And I know King say, oh, look, maybe there's a bargain here. Certainly, there's some good stuff happening. Don't get me wrong. We've got a low there. Okay, let me move this up a little bit so I can start to write in there. There's our major point of demand. There's another point of demand here. We're heading in the right direction, aren't we? These are all good. It looks to me like demand is building. Clearly, demand is building in the system, but what about supply? We can't just say, well, demand's building, I need to buy. Well, if there's demand is building, but supply is also building, then you've got a problem. The issue I have here is still that the long-term trend is down. The problem with that is that it hasn't exhibited all that much with this particular company, to be fair. Certainly it's respected it there, didn't respect it here, didn't respect it here. This one's got a bit of a track record of not really respecting the zone too much. Certainly there, certainly there, certainly there, certainly there. No, look, I think it's valid. I think it's important. And therefore, I'm worried about this area here and what might happen. You could see something like this. And then I'd be glad that I'm not buying it now. Don't know. What I need to see, I can tell you what I do need to see before I can become more enthusiastic on it. And then we'll leave it because, again, it's wasting a bit of time here. If we saw some price action that hit that zone, right, we hit the zone, we had a little bit of pullback, we spent a bit of time then, you know what this looks like. We saw it on one of the other examples, and then we start to do something like that, then I think I could become more interested in it. But, and there's a big but, if I'm getting interested in it there, like what's the upside? What's the upside? I just think this is so ho-hum right now. And I get that demand is building, and I love the white candles. I think they're brilliant. And I even like today's candle, a little bit of upper shadow. Why is there an upper shadow? Because supply here's our word, manifesting itself, right, at that zone. Why does it do that? I don't know. It just does. So look, if you've got it, I can see a path to holding it. You know what to look for if you do hold it. The stuff you don't want to see, I talk to you about it all the time. So if it starts to do this stuff, starts to print lower peaks and lower troughs over here, if it starts to show black candles, not white candles, but is it? No, it's a buy so far off the table for me on that one. The reason why I don't go then to the company valuation tool to look at stuff I'm not interested in buying is, why would you waste your time? Why would you waste your time doing that analysis if you're not going to buy it? Clinuvel Pharmaceuticals, I'm guessing some earnings today. It has been a tricky earnings season, to say the least. I ran it as a buy, I reckon, or maybe not that day, because I just wanted a bit more confirmation and I was worried about this. Okay. But I felt that this day here and this day here just told me that maybe this point of supply isn't going to be that much of an issue. Okay. Turnaround setup equals higher risk. No doubt about it. And I don't know, earnings today, you'll have to tell me, because I don't know. And we are seeing some really annoying stuff happen on the back of these announcements. And it is indeed, there's some news today, and it is earnings today. There you go. So for me, this is the way it works. Today's candle is still live, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know where that's going to close. Okay, but let's say we did do this on either one or both of those days. We went plus 1/3 on the basis that we were taking a speculative long trade here. Now, looking at this candle here, let me get rid of a few of these, so I don't need those anymore. And let's point to this candle here. Is that a reason to get out? No, it's not. Did you need to know that earnings were coming? If you feel that way, and that's important to you, then certainly do that, and don't buy things just before earnings, okay, for whatever reason. But no indication on that day I'm pointing to there that you needed to do anything but continue to hold. And then we've got this day here. Now, so you didn't have any warning. That's my point. Is this going to happen to you? It's going to happen to you. Did it happen to you this time? Carl, I don't have Clinuvel. I don't care. Okay. Pay attention anyway, because could this happen to you on the next one that you buy? Absolutely. Looks good, and then something happens in the market to change the demand supply dynamics. If this candle closed even as black as it is right now, for me, I think we have to take some medicine. If it closed with if this shadow built, and we saw a few of them, there've been some just crazy. Visa did it, yeah. See these long lower shadows? I think ARB did it. Look at that. See this. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but where that you get this huge shock to the system on the earnings, and then you start to power back during the day. So I don't know where this is going to finish. This is a live candle. That lower shadow can grow and grow and grow. It would need to grow all the way back up pretty much to the top of that candle for me to say, look, no damage done. It's a blip in the system. Hang in there. It's fine. Okay. I think as a precautionary measure, anything less than, I'm going to say, look, a close above 2080, okay, is going to be a minus 1/3 for me, based upon what I can see. And that is just, certainly if it closes down there, then it would be a minus 1/3. And yeah, you know, the bigger the candle is probably more like a minus 2/3 for me, and just 1/3 in the game. Maybe you're going to get something like this, but it only becomes an exercise, if it closes this bad, I should say, in trying to get a better price for that final third. Okay. It's not good. It really is. We don't want to see big black candles. So it can happen, unfortunately. Crazy earnings season. And then Daniel's got the bookend. Look at that. So this is earnings here. So there you go. Was this set up any better or any worse than the last one? It's definitely still more of a turnaround play, isn't it? And GUD and CUV. I think GUD, prior to its earnings, had established a better trend, hadn't it? What do we do now? Okay, so we got lucky on this one, got unlucky on the last one. That's probably, I shouldn't have said those words. I don't believe in luck. It just is Apologies, I shouldn't have said that. There's no luck. Just don't think in those terms. It's not, oh, that was unlucky. It just is. Just move on. Just get on with it. Move on with it. Okay. So this one went in the right direction for our trade. The other one didn't. Let's talk in those terms. What do we do now? Bit of a gap here. Is that a dividend? For Daniel, I reckon that might well be the dividend, and it's frustrating this time of the year because let's just go to GUD. I'm going to look this up for you. X dividend date, 25th of August. There you go. So that is the 25th of August. There you go. And we can see that is therefore not a gap. This is a capital return. Okay. So this is not something I would ordinarily, if I said ordinarily, this is something I'd be very concerned about. Given it's a dividend, I'm not. This is not a great day, though. This is a really concerning day. And even if I move this up by the dividend, I still think you want to use the low of, not so much that candle, but you can use it anyway, right? It still represented a point of demand. Even though there was a dividend, it was still a low point of the day. It was still somewhere where buyers came back in. So I think if you look, you'd have to be the most nervous person in the world to go minus 1/3 on this candle. And I'm going to delete that. I'm just going to move it. So that's the most nervous person in the world. And I think this is probably the more sensible approach. Close less than equals minus 1/3. And if you were to get, because today's candle looks fine. I know it's a live candle. I'm going to click update right now, and we'll get the latest update. This data provider that I use, Norgate Data, updates on an hourly basis. Hey Carl, why don't you use the live prices? Wouldn't that be better for your analysis? No, it's worse. I don't like live prices. I don't like live intraday prices. I don't like to look at stocks intraday. I have to because of my role here at ThinkMarkets. But as a trader, no, I don't. I just want to check them at the end of the candle. 10, 15 minutes before the end of the candle, I go do my analysis on my portfolio, or I might run a scan, and then I'm looking to do my trades. If you can't do it at the end of the candle, try the open of the next candle, okay? And we can see how that candle got whiter. The body grew. So I think we're okay. So that's where I'm going to leave this one. If you saw something worse, something more sinister before you get down to close beneath that level. So for example, it looked like this. Okay, then this supply candle confirms this one here, and therefore you could do an earlier minus 1/3 if that occurred, and then that's your second third. And if it closed beneath here, all you'd have remaining is the final 1/3, and probably then we're looking for this sort of a close beneath that level, and that final third comes out. So what we're saying is what is your plan? Do you have a plan for getting out? Do you have a plan that dials down all that noise, all that uncertainty, all the chatter out there, and just focuses on what traders, investors, hedge funds are actually doing? And that would be my path out of this. If you can't go minus, that's where I'm going to do minus 1/3, that's going to do minus 1/3, minus 1/3, I think you're kind of just flying by the seat of your pants in many ways. Okay, let's keep moving. I'm going to go to the streamers who I've neglected. Sorry for that. I'm coming to you now. Thank you, Kirsty, for telling me I was on mute. So sorry. That's a really silly thing to do. ACM. Let's go here. Australian Critical Minerals. Let me go zoom normal. I'm not going to get anything because it's a brand new company, it looks like. So Lawrence, I can't give you any technical analysis on it. I don't know what they do. I couldn't care less. So I can't give you any fundamental analysis on it either. And I guarantee that there won't be any brokers covering it. So there won't be a company valuation. I can tell you that today's candle looks good. That's all I can tell you. STP. I can only do what I can do. Hey, seriously. Step one, clothing. Okay, well, it's trying to turn around. It is one that you really could not have bought any time through here. So that you can see how the system works. I cannot buy. Oh, but it's cheap. Oh, but it's now its value. I can't buy it. I can't buy it. I could start to consider it through here. And this would be the only point where, that white candle, but even then I wouldn't buy it there. It's just not doing enough. Too sketchy, too illiquid. Can I buy it now? I've honestly, no, I've got no real interest in this one. The candles, look at the candles. The candles show that it barely trades on some days. Look, I'm not going to completely discount it. It has pushed up here. The reason why I couldn't have bought it before is that I like to see them just do that little respecting of the long-term zone, and then it's in and around that area that I can then start to look for the white candles to buy. Okay, it didn't do that. It just popped up. I'm guessing this is the day it reported earnings right here, and then it's just been vibrating after those earnings. If it started to do something that looks like this, I might get interested, but I doubt it. I think this is it's very unlikely I'm going to get interested in this anytime soon. But something like that, I might be able to become interested in it with the right candles. But volume would have to stay above, 500,000 shares a day is still minuscule. It looks like it's a lot, only because the volume before that was so ridiculously lame. But this is not something I'm looking to trade. If you have it, I can see a path to you holding. If you have it, I ask you, why the hell do you have this thing? Why? I mean, if you've ridden it all the way and you bought it down here because you thought it was cheap, then this is a big payday for you. Congratulations, well done. That was a great idea. I'd be very, very cautious about this. If it starts to show price action like this, then I'd just go find something else better to do with my time if it did that in there. I'm not going to look at the company val on that. Weebit Nano has got some issues. This is how trends change. This is how trends die. So you've obviously got your major point of supply. Major point of supply didn't have to wait to get to this session to ask me this question though. Oh, come on, Carl. Go here, go here, go here, 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 here. It should be just clear as day. For anybody that's followed me for any length of time, this should just be the most obvious thing you've seen, how this thing is just deconstructing itself. And it's all over, Red Rover, isn't it? I mean, really here, this is the last chance. I'm pretty sure I might have even run it in the shortlist here as a buy, but as soon as you're here. So I mean, if you got in here, you're out on this day. And, I don't know. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Maybe up here I was certainly looking at it. But these black candles, it's just if you see these types of candles, just stay away. Just stay away. There's no need. And there's one today. This one's done. It's dusted. This is going to go down a hell of a long way. I'm not sure if you caught my drift, Lawrence, here. You need further explanation, but that's Cactus. Let us go to. And hey, I don't hate Weebit Nano, don't get me wrong. On the way up, I loved it. I don't hate it at all. I just why would I own it? I don't hate companies. I'm completely ambivalent. This one is one I do like. How else? What other words could I use? I do like. What's the right? I don't hate them. I don't like them. You know what I mean? I'm ambivalent. It's one I think is going up. No, that's not even. I don't think. Anyway, I think you get my drift. There's just no opinion. There just is. So it's one I've shortlisted recently, maybe even on this day here. Had earnings. There you go, earnings again. So when you see big white candles, it's trying to hold the long-term trend zone. I like that. And it was just a big white candle. I just like big white candles. And then that's fine. That's fine. It's all good today. No complaints. This is all great. I'm a happy holder of this. I can't see any reason to be selling Wesfarmers here. Just looking at points of supply, obviously we're interacting with one now. There's one up here, potentially, and then there's going to be a pretty decent whack of it at $60. But yeah, look, if you've got it, 100% hold it for me. I can't see any reason why you'd sell it. If you don't have it and you're looking to add it, I don't know, maybe a bit of a longer term portfolio, yes, happy here. If it closes, so if close high, plus equals plus 1/3, and you know how I work. It's just as simple as that. If it does close on the high, then it'll be in my shortlist tonight. It's as simple as that. Happy with that one. Let's just out of curiosity, because I do want to get here at some stage today, have a look at the Wesfarmers valuation, and I can tell you right now, we are going to get plenty of brokers covering this one. Indifferent is the word Neil suggests. Indifferent. I'm indifferent to the underlying fundamentals. Having said that, let's look at some underlying fundamentals. Now, what Thomson Reuters does, for the people that haven't seen this before, they go and survey, in this case, 15 brokers, whoever will give them the information that they're seeking on what is your FY24 estimate for revenue, 25, 26, 27? What's your EPS? What's your dividend prediction? Okay, so you've got Goldman Sachs, UBS, Bank of America, Macquarie Bank. They're all in there. Deutsche Bank, Credit Suisse, dozens of them, all giving their opinions on what's going to happen for Wesfarmers. And we're talking about the smartest of the smartest people doing this research. But then we've got historical data as well. What's in the bag? So literally, as Wesfarmers reported it there for FY23, we could do some maths to get some ratios on those. And then we've got our growth estimates going forward. So obviously 23 is in the bag now. FY24 becomes the current year. That's you would have seen, you would have noticed if you watched me do this before, you noticed that this used to be 23. For obvious reasons, 23 is there now. No surprise. Okay. So that's what it is. We should say that we've got 15 brokers. Their average price target is 51.70, suggesting that Wesfarmers, based upon yesterday's close, always just the way it works, it'll update started tomorrow, is slightly overvalued. But the brokers are showing a hold. They're 3 strong buys, 4 buys, 6 holds, 2 sells, 1 strong sell. An extremely polarizing company. That is extremely polarizing. EPS line is where I go next. I like to see bottom left, top right. So I want to see a company that can grow its earnings through the craziness of a pandemic, through supply chain shortages, through rising inflation and interest rates, and consumers being all uncertain with themselves. And that is not quite bottom left, top right, but it's decent. It's very solid, okay? You can forgive a little bit of a dip for a company like Wesfarmers in 2022, okay? Back to growth in 2023, talking about 5% growth. Looking forward, the brokers are quite positive on it going forward. Not wildly positive, but we're talking 6% compound annual growth rate over the next, 1, 2, 3, 4 financial years. Isn't that amazing? What a great tool this is. Now, the market typically grows at about 8% per annum. That's sort of your average ASX 200 growth. And your typical ASX 200 stocks trading with a P of 15. If you catch my Monday tweets, I'd give you that information every week. So we're paying on Wesfarmers going forward, a median PE of the brokers. So the median PE, that's the median of those 4 numbers, is 20.1. And that's what I call my target PE. We need to find the right target PE to value a company. Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, that's all we're trying to do. Every fundamental analysis is trying to come up with their target PE. What will I pay for this company? I know what everybody else is going to pay, but what will I pay? Now, I don't superimpose my views on the world. A proper fundamental analyst, a proper one, will go out and they'll come up with their number. And they'll say, based upon all my analysis, I think the right PE is 26 or 4 or 8. That's their view, okay? I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm going to use what the brokers think. I'm going to say, well, what's my target PE? I don't know. I don't know what a good one is. So let me use the median of 15 brokers for the next 4 financial years. What do you reckon is a better way to do it? Fundamental analysis. Or, these guys are pretty smart. Let me use the median of 15 brokers for the next 4 financial years. I don't know. You decide what's a better way to do it. Now, if I use that, and that's high. That's high for me because we're getting less than market growth and we've got a PE of 20. So that's high. And that's why my model says, I'm not sure if I like that balance. I should get more growth for paying that much for it. But I think what we're seeing here, and this is where I look at this number and then I go back for the 5-year historical range. It's funny because there's another group of investors out there that actually use the historical 5-year PE range. So here I use it also. And we've got very different views of how to do things, but we both use that in a particular way. And 20.1 actually sits pretty well against that historical range. So what you're seeing here is a quality premium. And you've all heard it. Oh, Wesfarmers is quality. How many times have you heard that? It makes me want to cry. But you're seeing that quality premium embedded into the pricing of Wesfarmers. And I don't say, oh, no, that's too much, I won't pay it. I say, well, the market's prepared to pay it, so that's right. That's the right number. I think that's the right number. I don't think it's the wrong number, but it does mean that this is not good value in my eyes. Okay? Does that mean I can't buy it on the chart? No. I'm happy to buy it on the chart, but everybody's different. Hey, I did that for the people that are interested in those fundamentals. Let's keep moving here. We're going to pick up the pace a bit. We're going to go to DUG. This one is for Perry. I think it's fine, Perry. In fact, it's better than fine. It's kind of as good as you can get. I I reckon this has probably been in my shortlist. It's up there. Maybe it's the top 10 for this year in terms of appearing in my shortlist. Why? Well, why not? I mean, it just looks amazing. So, oh God, I'm in here. I'm not even supposed to be in here. So all these drawings, I'm gonna have to delete now. It's so frustrating that I do this to myself. Let's go here. As you can see, we've got other drawings. There we go. And the other place I keep them clean and pristine because they're the ones I'll send to media. And this is where I'm allowed to draw. So you can see we covered it one time here in session. We said plus 1/3. I think if it closes here today, I think it'll be shortlisted for me. It'll be probably a feature chart. I think it was a feature chart yesterday, wasn't it? Plus 1/3. My feature chart's highest conviction, and this has got feature chart written all over it this year. So very, very happy with that, Perry. There's nothing in here that is telling me to sell at all. If anything, it's still telling me to buy. Oh, but Carl, it's gone up too much. It was 40 cents and now it's $1.70. I can't buy it now. Well, it was 40 cents and that was it doubled. And right there, I pointed to this in the past. I said that's a great candle to buy. You wouldn't have bought it there. Oh, but it's $1. It's gone up too much. Oh, but it's $1.10. It's gone up too much. It's just a faulty mentality to think like that. Let us hit here. I'm very curious. I don't know if we'll get much broker coverage, Perry, but I know Perry doesn't care about any of this stuff. I know he's going, Carl, don't waste your time doing this for me. It's irrelevant. But let's have a look. We do have two brokers on it. Their price target is $22.10, so that's giving quite a nice whack of upside there, 25%. Very few brokers covering it. It's going to be one of those sort of boutique broker sort of stocks, and therefore they're typically, if they're putting out recommendations to clients, of course it's a buy. It's not like it's Wesfarmers where everybody's going to cover it. They're covering it for a reason. They like the stock, so it's no surprise we see two buys there. EPS line, not quite bottom left, top right. I'm a bit surprised. Sorry, these are still retrieving. We've still got Wesfarmers numbers in there, so I might keep moving, Perry. And we can come back to this next time we look at this screen. We'll have it all loaded up there. Don't blame me if Thomson Reuters server is slow to respond. But I love that one. Happy to go plus 1/3 on that one. If you've got it, obviously that means hold it. Let us go to Wisetech. Wisetech needs to be talked about as well. So this is a great case study here. I went back and I looked at every time in 2023 that I listed this in my shortlist as a buy plus 1/3. I think this one might have been in session here. Plus 1/3, plus 1/3, plus 1/3. So you can see how many times it was a buy, and then look what happens. And again, there's no luck. It just is. We need to pick up the pieces. Was there a signal to get out prior to this? There was here. So you can see a minus 1/3 here. This is something I drew before the earnings. So on that day there, you would have gone minus 1/3. On this day here, you might have added it back. I don't know. It looked very good here. As soon as the day before earnings, it looked fine. It looked great. Okay. There was no indication in this chart. And I was on the call last week with Ben Clark from TMS Capital, and he said he got tagged with it. A lot of fundamental investors, and Ben Clark is good at what he does. He's one of the few fundamental analysts in the world I would give my money to invest, and I really respect his view. I can't say that about many fundamental analysts. So he got tagged on it, if that makes you feel any better. Close beneath here. So it's just about following the system then, isn't it? I've said to you in the past, if it closes beneath there, minus 1/3. If it closes beneath there, minus 1/3. So I guess we don't need to talk about it. This candle in and of itself is a minus 1/3. So if you're just following my model on stuff, not that I'm saying now for the first time, but have said to you in the past, you would have gone minus, and you wouldn't have been able to do it up here, mind you. That's impossible. But on this day, it just would have been a close. Yeah, and if you got out at the end of that candle, or you got out somewhere in this candle, I think that's fine. At most, let me get rid of some of this. This is obviously not going to happen anymore, but at most, if you were a deer in headlights, light, and I get it. I can see how that can happen. That's what I think now. And then, and it's not me being mocking or critical at all. because I can understand that you're just going, oh my gosh, what just happened? And what did happen was the earnings for FY23 were fine, all in line with estimates. It was their guidance for FY24 was about 15 to 20% lower. So what did the share price do? Down 15 to 20% in a session. Did the company do anything wrong? Well, technically no, because their FY23 results hadn't changed. You could argue that given their FY24 results had changed by a material amount, I'm pretty sure it's 15% is the trigger level, they probably should have let us know this way before. But maybe the company said, well, we're updating the market now anyway, so we might as well tell them about it when we tell them about it. So the company's just doing what the company does. The big disconnect here was just broker estimates. So if you have to blame someone, blame the brokers for having, overestimated Wisetech's outlook so much, and by overestimating, then continuing to perpetuate this great trend, which every day of the week I'd be buying. And it's a good case study. I'm going to put to you that this earnings season we've had is one of the wildest that I can remember. I'm not saying it's going to be the wildest. I've probably forgotten more than I can remember, but it's certainly the wildest one in recent memory where we're seeing these 20% moves. I mean, AX1, to show you just how wrong brokers had it, this is a 20% move from here to here in the other direction. So look, let's not dwell on this. I know it probably hurts a few people, but I think let's just put a stake in it and say, this is where we're at now. Even if it's a case of, well, this is what I should have done and I haven't, but this is where we're at now, and this is how I'm going to move forward with it. What are the learnings there? I'm not so sure there are many learnings there, because I would have done everything exactly the same way and just been as oblivious to that. And again, do you then adopt the model that, I'm nervous about earnings season, I'm going to get out of half before the report or a third before the report and do it that way? I can't say, because I think we've had just as many hits, we have just as many wins this earnings season, if you're following my charts, as misses. I know that the misses, we remember those more and they hurt more, but we've had just as many wins. Like GUD is a great example. There's been plenty of others. Anyway, I'm glad Anonymous has asked that one, so I don't know who you are. Anonymous, next time write your name in. Not that hard, but I'm glad this one was talked about today. I think it's really important we talk about these. Okay, MRM. We're going for time. Awful as usual. I wonder if that's earnings today. I reckon that might be earnings today. Let's have a look here. I'm just going to go into my Thomson Reuters MRM.AX. No, it's kind of that count. It looks like an earnings type candle, but I can't see any news on it here. If there is, let me know, but I don't think so. I think I don't like this candle, Doug. It's kind of a Wisetech chart. Again, it's been in my shortlist very, very frequently. But I'm concerned about that candle, especially if there's no earnings. It makes me even more concerned. I mean, if there's earnings, I kind of get it. Okay. Analysts got it wrong again. Not that the company got it wrong. The company's going to do what it's going to do. The analysts got it wrong again. I don't like it. If it closes that poorly, and of course we are dealing with a live candle, and we'll say, if close looks like this, and I try to do this so that when we come back and we look at it again, I can say, we'll see that. If it changes, we won't know what this looks like. That's the problem. So there's no point. I don't know. Anyway, let me just write 1/3 just for simplicity then. Look, if it closes like that, I don't like it. I'm concerned by it. And it's just a precautionary measure. It still means I've got plus 2/3 remaining based upon the strength of the rest of the trend. And I will manage that exit as we go. So if it starts to do, that's probably not right, but it's there right now. If it starts to do stuff like this, okay, you know what I mean, then we've got some problems. So if we start to print out point of supply and then point of supply, we're going to have problems. And it will change like this, or it'll just go back up again and there's nothing to worry about. But I think we're on notice here. I'm glad you brought that one up. Thank you, Doug. I'm pretty sure gave me that one. Let us go to, I'm going to try and do some of these ones here. C79, which is another one I've been tweeting about as well. I think I covered it on Ausbiz a couple of months ago. Not rocket science sort of stuff. Double green, boring, but beautiful in many ways. These two candles here are a little bit disconcerting. blend them together, you get quite a big black candle that's pushing well into the bottom of that big white candle. Today's candle's coming back quite well, so I'm okay. I think there's kind of well, clearly a key level here. But yeah, look, it's one of those that, you know, you have some skin in the game, you keep riding it as long as it keeps doing the right thing. And you're looking for signs to, you know, lighten the risk and take some profits off the table. Certainly close beneath there for me is an issue. I think today's candle is going to be important, but I won't be here tomorrow to talk to you about it. But, you know, watch that candle there. And I reckon I'm pretty safe to do this, actually. If I type this in, I think the price action will play out in a way that this is a pretty safe thing to write. And then, you know, so full risk position right now. So that's the crux of it. So I'll often say FRP, which means full risk position. It means I can't see any reason not to be fully invested at this stage. Okay. So that's for somebody who owns it, and I talk in those terms because I assume you do. You've been following my tweets. For somebody who doesn't own it, would I buy it? This candle is great. I mean, this last candle today is amazing. It is fantastic. Could be better, close on the high, and maybe it still will. But I think there's enough caution required or implied by these two candles to say, you know what? I've probably got enough of this right now. And sometimes you've got to get to that point. You say, well, I think I've got enough of this. I'm holding all I need to hold on this. If these candles were far milder in terms of their showing or demonstration, the manifestation of excess supply, I could happily go plus 1/3 today. But I don't think you're going to see this in my shortlist today on that basis. If it closes even on the high today, I know that's very good. You go, hey, Carl, surely Chrysos should have made it today. It probably won't make it today just on those two black candles. And it's just me being more cautious. Now, that doesn't mean I can't add to it. It just means that I want to see, I know there's supply up here. So what's the rationale? Okay, Carl, you said something. Why did you say it? I think I need to remember that. I need to kind of get to that next step. I said it. Why did I say it? This is a pretty important point of supply. The supply is manifesting itself there. So let me see how it goes. Next time we probe it, I just want to probe that supply and see how it responds. And if we get nice white candles into that point of supply, then it's not an issue. And that's when I'd be looking to add. And I might have to pay a little bit more for it, but I have more confidence. So happy holder for now, but I don't think I'm a buyer on the basis of what I can see there. Glenn's got, so I'll go to EML here. This one is for Leo. Looks very promising. I think I did shortlist it maybe this day here as a potential turnaround play. Obviously high risk, a couple of pretty nasty days here. Popped up today. I think you can hold it. If that shadow stays that big, I'm not a buyer. I just need to see things much closer to the high in these big white candles to call it a buy. But if you do get it close near the high, especially if it closes near $1, I can probably write this in pretty safely. If close, let's go greater then. Let's put a number on it. Let's say, I don't know, 98 or something. Then for me, yeah, I think you can go plus 1/3 on that or add to the position if you're already in it. However you want to, whatever language you want to use around that. And I say 98 because what's that high there? 99. Yeah, that's within 10% of the high. Well, the candle's how big is the candle? Candle's bigger than that, isn't it? So the candle is 20 cents. So you could even say 97. So within 10% of the candle's range, or within 10% of the top of the candle, if that makes sense. And then it's even bigger actually, because the average true range is bigger. So just go average true range 1 and it'll tell you. No, it doesn't. Average true range, I don't have it on there. But anyway, it's clearly more than 20 cents, isn't it? You can see here, just read it. So I don't mind EML. A holder, if you've got it. I'm a buyer conditionally. If you don't, I would not sell it at all. I'm almost curious here. Let's Doug Technology coming back on screen. We did get some data there. It is going to make money, or it has made money. So first, a maiden profit here, FY23, looking to grow those earnings quite well, actually 28% compound annual growth rate. The reason why that's not working is because I'm not sure why that's not working. That should be working. Go here. That made it work. A bit weird because I do have a 2023 here. I have a 2023 PE. I had a growth rate. Anyway, my model says that it looks crazy cheap, but of course it would with 29% growth, Perry, and such a low PE. Like, why has this got such a low PE for such a huge growth rate? And that's why my model says, this thing's really cheap. 242, the brokers are at 210. So both the brokers, those two brokers that are covering it, and my spreadsheet say that DUG is pretty cheap here. What about EML? EML's had huge problems in the past. Serial downgrader of its profits, serial disappointer. We saw Doug Technology, bottom left, top right, beautiful chart. A lot of people won't buy that, but they'll buy EML because it's crashed and it looks cheap. Numbers have come through, 5 brokers covering. They actually think that it's quite expensive. I mean, this 75, I don't think that's current. What's the current price here? We talked about it. We're up near $1, aren't we now? So if it was overvalued yesterday by 18%, it's way more overvalued now, according to these brokers, who are at a sell. I don't think I've ever seen that in the history of these webinars. I don't think we've seen everyone, sorry, not everyone, but I don't think we've seen a consensus sell. But 2 holds, 3 sells, or at least sells overwhelming holds. EPS line is not that bad. It's not terrible. But then 24, we're going to get a bit of a dip there. Sorry, we're 013, so that's fine. Then you've got this stuff here. Yeah, look, we've got all sorts of issues here. There you go. I'm not going to say any more about that. I don't think I need to. But if you're into EML, that's what you're dealing with. All right, I need to seriously pick up the pace, so I'll never get this done. I've got Sayona coming up here for Dr. Bullion. SYA, let's have a look at this one. I can do it extremely quickly. Here we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, the lithium sector review. Coming up. Quick fire at you. Sayona Mining, first one, a bit of a bounce today. Decent bounce, but the problem is today's bounce isn't even covering back yesterday's decline. That's a big problem. Hey, it's bouncing. That's good though, isn't it? It is still good, don't get me wrong, but it could be so much better. It tells me that there's still plenty of supply in the system for this. Hey, this might be the absolute forever low for Sayona. I don't know. I can't see the future, I promise you. All I can say is it's not something I'm interested in buying because of all the stuff we've talked about up to this point, which is the trends are still down. I totally concede I might miss the low like here. It might do that for all I know. And then I wouldn't start buying till here, literally on that candle there. So if you can see, and this is a really good case study for what might happen now, Sayona lovers who hate me by default. If you love Sayona, you hate me. And that's okay. I'm cool with that. But, now what it is, whatever it is now, got down to 8 cents or whatever it is, I wouldn't be able to buy it until, 15 cents or whatever it might be, equivalent to this. You see, I couldn't buy it at 11, but then I would have bought it at 21. Okay, because it started to turn the corner. Look, the long-term trend by that stage, it turned up. Beautiful big white candles come in, closing on the high. Look at this big white candle. Heightened volume, heightened interest, heightened volume, heightened interest. This is a great template, Sayona shareholders, for what you need to see. I mean, that's the start there. I mean, look at the pathetic candle you've got today, right? I'm not trying to be nasty, but compare it to that candle there. That's a great candle. You're not quite there yet. And so you stamp out that low, you stamp out another higher major point of demand, and you start punctuating with these big white candles on elevated volume, removing the supply overhang from this big downturn. Okay, and then I think I'm pretty sure I've shortlisted it through there, and then it starts to be, getting out here. I don't know, you would have made a small profit on that, no big deal. We get to here, and it just puts into perspective the good stuff that needs to happen, and it's so far away. What it's got going for it is the fact that, this looks like the final capitulation volume here. It looks pretty good for that. So if you have to sell, you've probably sold by now. Maybe that creates a bit of a supply vacuum, but that doesn't mean you've got demand, and you still need to get that demand to build that meaningful low that we saw before. Anyway, that's the most time I've spent on Sayona in a long time. But mostly I put it up and I say there's no point looking at this, everybody. Look elsewhere. And that's what I'm going to say about this one. No point looking at this, everyone. Look elsewhere. People think, oh, no, you're saying core's lousy now. No, I've been saying core's lousy for a very long time. Okay? For a very long time. It's still lousy. Yes, there's a little bit of a bounce here today. That's interesting, but no, they're still curling to the downside there. And this is what I said last time. It's what I've been saying for a long time. 0% hold, 0% buy, and 100% sell. I'm still a sell on core. Let us do Pilbara. It's so controversial. Great rally today. This is one I've up front, I say that I'm not very good at picking this one. It just continues to find demand out of nowhere. I thought this thing was done yesterday. I thought it was done and dusted. It was looking like at one stage it was going to close beneath that long-term trend zone. And if it did, it would have been lights out, I assure you. But somehow the demand came back in and on some decent volume, took out a bunch of supply. Maybe it's short covering, I don't know. Maybe it's institutional buying. But there is some serious demand protecting Pilbara from the downside. It did it there. It did it here. It did it here. Something funny is going on. Okay, something's up here. Yes, there's plenty of supply out there, but there is something going on the demand side that I cannot explain. And today's candle is a good follow through of that lower shadow that put a lot of the shorts off guard. I mean, maybe some people are shorting on the break of that, go, oh, that's it, this is the end for Pilbara, and boom, all those shorts are now under immense pressure. I'm not saying this is going back up. I don't know. I can't tell the future. But potentially there's a bit more in this phase of this. But I do believe confidence is eroding. Confidence is eroding. I do believe this one's losing the battle. And all I've said to you since I think on this day here, we were looking at longs through here, and you can see close beneath there, minus 1/3, close beneath there, minus 1/3. And I'm pretty sure I said something after this day here where I said, look, that's kind of the last third now. So from we started to look at it through here, didn't we? We started to look at it through here. Go check the tapes. And you can see a few sketchings. And I think on this day here, I said, look, that's enough. That's enough. Okay. I don't think you need to be here. And I still don't think you need to be here on Pilbara. And that's going to upset so many people. Hey, Carl, but what about the $3 billion cash it has in the bank? What about it? If I know it, and I tell you what, if you know about it, then everyone knows about it. Yet there's still excess supply in the system, right? Oh, but Carl, okay, man. Okay. Wrap yourself in your little Pilbara blanket and go somewhere else, right? Seriously. If that's what makes you comfortable, if that's what gives you your comfort in your life, just go do it somewhere else. Just don't bother me with the details. I don't hate Pilbara. Don't like Pilbara. I just call it as it is. And that's what I think. There's no reason to be here right now. If it breaks up through 530, 540, then it's killing all of that supply in the market. And that's what I'm going to get. I'm going to be more interested in it, probably before then. CUV, filling us in. Big drop this morning on its annual report. Yeah, sell the news. I've done that one, Phil. If you didn't catch it, go catch the replay. Let's keep going. Mineral Resources needs to be talked about today. It's a big white candle. That's an important white candle. I can't buy it, but this is starting to change my opinion on Mineral Resources. I like this low here. I like all these white candles. I like the shallowness of the pullback. I like the emphatic white candle today. If this closes on the high, then look, well, there you go. I went 100% sell last time. I was neutral through here. Fair enough. You can see how it's changed. 0% buy, 25% hold, 75% sell. I think that was vindicated. You know, if that's when I typed it around there, and the last time I looked at it, probably around here. Okay. What am I doing now? I think it's just it's a hold. It's a hold again. I don't think you would sell it. No, I'm going to go zero. I mean, this is how strong I feel about it. 0% hold, sell. I think I'm 100% hold now. But I'm not yet a buy, and quite a bit needs to happen for me to call this a buy now. So just move that down there. What does need to happen for the people that are playing along at home? I need to see this. 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 And it's around here that I'm going to start to get really interested in it. And you know me. You know I will. But until then, I'm not interested. Okay. Oh, but Carl, I can buy it at 68. Why would I wait to 72 if I can buy it at 68? Well, that's your business. IGO, you can see here, much like with the Pilbara one, I said there's just no reason to be an IGO anymore. And you can see where my model would have taken us out of that and kept you safe in the market. It's bouncing, but I still don't think there's any reason to be in this. I could be wrong. I don't know where it's going to be next week or next month, but I can't see, seeing some manifestation of supply here at that short-term trend zone. It's not one I'd be buying. If I had it, well, no, I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't own it. I think we've done most of the big ones. LRS, I know, is very popular at the moment. I got a question about this yesterday, and I said if it closed on its low yesterday, then it's a minus 1/3. I think it didn't quite close on its low, but I think today's reinforcing that. And for me, this is going to go minus 1/3. If it closes there or worse, minus 1/3 for me on LRS. And then perhaps it's just your final 1/3. So, see, there you go. I think up to this point, we've already said 1/3 remaining. So if you're going to close today, that maybe takes that out. I'll leave that up to you, whether you just keep some skin in the game. But I'm thinking today it's just starting to roll over again. It could do this. It could do this. I don't know. Okay, but I just think it's more sideways. And I think we can catch up with this one again in the not too distant future if it starts to do the right things. And maybe through a 36 or a 37 get back in it. But just keep our capital, keep the powder dry in the meantime. Look, it's up to you. Really, I don't mind if you wanted to keep that final third on it, but this is where it changes. Okay, beneath here, there's no doubt about it. We're only questioning whether you do this one or not. Okay, and you stay here. That's up to you. PMT, Patriot Metals, I know very popular. I've said to this, look at this, 90% sell, 10%, and last time I looked at it, 100% sell. I can't see any reason to change my view on that. That's still 100% sell. I'm trying to remember, because I just haven't looked at them. DLI is the other one. Delta Lithium. Yeah, just disappointing. Through here, we said if it closes on the high, plus 1/3. Didn't quite do that. I think at most you've got on this, you've got some skin in the game, but I think it's kind of a plus 1/3 remaining on this one. That's just where I'm on that. Okay, so some skin in the game, but not a full risk position. And some people will have a full risk position on this because they think it's going to be their one stock portfolio. It's going to go to $100 million and allow them to retire, maybe. And if it does, don't worry, I'll be on it. I'll get there. AZS, we could just keep going on this. Look at this. What did I draw last time? I said if it's a white candle, add to it. If it's a black candle, reduce it, and it looks like we got the black candle version, I'm guessing. I can see why, so let's get rid of that. I can't delete that. That's real. That one's real. So I think you are minus 1/3 on this one, and minus 1/3 here. So I think all we're doing here is plus 1/3 remaining on that, and you can see where the next one might go out. Okay. Let us keep moving on to uranium BOE, because I know a lot of people listening have them. Look, a hold for me. Uranium's tough. It's always going to be tough. There's no easy when it comes to uranium. Happy to hold Boss. Happy to hold Paladin. One that came up on my list yesterday, AGE. There you go. And it's just flaming out a little bit today. But that one did come up on my list. The other one, DYL, looks fine. There's clearly supply here. There's clearly supply. Is there enough supply to take stuff off the table just yet? Probably not. But watch these levels. I mean, I think you're either committed to this or you're not. So I'll tell you when they're outright sells. Otherwise, they're kind of looking like holds, aren't they? BNN was one that looked half decent. Still looks fine. So I'm going to go, looks fine on uranium. No issues there. Gold, I got a lot of questions about that during the week. Northern Star in particular. What do I think about that one? I think it's ho-hum. I think this is a nice rally. Don't get me wrong. This is a really good rally through here, but there's just too much that needs to occur. And I'm happy just to let it play out. Let's just see what happens here. Something like this, I could get more interested, but yeah, there's a lot of supply in this. There's a lot of supply in this one. If anything, this could be more likely to do something like this. I think that's probably the more likely scenario. So now look, it's a pass. If you've got it, I can see a reason to hold it, but I'd be really, really watching this very closely to reduce risk further. Okay, you can see I've crossed that out. It's all the way back here. I've crossed that out as something you can own all the way back here. And I think that's been vindicated. Newcrest Mining, I can't see any real reason to own it. It's so much needs to happen for that to start to look good again. PRU, just going through what I can remember here. This one actually looks half decent. We've got plenty of stuff on this. This is a serial dog, but it's actually starting to look okay now. I'm not sure if I want to buy them. Well, in fact, I know I can't buy it because we've still got this. But if you've got it, I think you can hold it. How about that? I'm going to go from a sell to a hold on PRU. RMS Ramelius looks okay, looks good. Probably one of the better ones I've seen. At least it's holding its long-term uptrend zone. Nice little bit of price action coming in. A decent candle today. I'm not a buyer, but I'm certainly a holder on Ramelius. What about RSG? Yeah, that one when it turned a bit sour, didn't it? But you had to take your lickings on that and get out of it. No, look, again, a decent rally, but not something I'd be looking to buy. WGX, I know is very, very popular. Look, holding in this range now. This is a very well-defined trading range, not unlike the actual gold price. And that looks fine. More than a happy holder on that one. Probably not a buy, though. Look, if it was to close on the high today and you were that way inclined, you really love this stock for whatever reason, then I could see a reason to add some, but I'm not going to officially go plus 1/3 on that. So that is the official lithium, uranium, gold sector review. And I'll just finish off with rare earths while I'm at it. Might as well. Linus, what did I say last time? 75% hold, 25% sell. Did I say that? I can't believe I said that based upon that chart. I think it's probably the other way around. 25% hold, 75% sell, isn't it? It looks okay just on the basis we've got a bunch of white candles here. There's a bit of accumulation in the system, but it is still, unfortunately, just being smashed by that thing there. And yeah, it's not something I personally would own. No, there's zero chance of me owning that. Okay, I've done Wesfarmers MAY, which is very popular right now. It's one that has come up on the scans, and I deliberately haven't been putting it in. I think, I don't know, was I have put it in recently? I can't remember, honestly. Maybe I put it on that day. In there. I had to do the fundamental analysis on this for the call, and on that day I called it uninvestable because it just looked like a complete, I have to be careful what I say here, but it just, honestly, it was vacuous. It just appeared to me that there was nothing there, and I couldn't connect the dots between the half-decent trend and the fact that it was absolutely vacuous. And I guess it turned out to be the case. But anyway, it's not something I could own right now. Not the least because I actually had to look at the fundamentals. Somebody's going to tell me otherwise. But Carl, QUB. Gosh, this one, look, again, earnings. This is earnings right here. So a company that the market hated, right? And then boom, earnings occur. And now all of a sudden the market loves it, likes it. Yeah, look, it's a bit ho-hum for me. I think this is amazing. I think, don't get me wrong, this is just a wonderful wall of white. But it's a bit ho-hum for me from here. So, no, it's not a buy for me. But if you've got it, I'm happy to hold it. But it's a ho-hum hold, isn't it? Yeah, are they the ones you're after? We're getting very, very close to time. I am doing my best to get to everybody. So I will not do any more streamers because I've done them all. Dr. Bullion just slipped that in CSL. What do you reckon, Dr. Bullion? I mean, seriously, is it? I mean, it's doing okay down here, but would anybody be seriously surprised? Like, and I know this is a nasty thing to say. I almost want this to happen just to teach people the lesson that you can't just assume something's blue chip forever. But that is a real possibility, isn't it? Is it not? Is that not an absolute possibility given that it has failed? It has failed to put in a meaningful V-shape rally like it has done so many times in the past. It's done those Vs. And this is not a V. I wonder how this is going to, I know there's going to be a dividend there probably, but I wonder how this is going to look with a bunch of black candles just pushing down through here. Will we see this precipitate a larger fall back into maybe 240? And that, imagine how many people were telling you it's definitely a buy there. Oh, it's something you never sell. I'm not so sure. Obviously, I can't own it for obvious reasons. Obviously, I can't own it for obvious reasons. Two obviouses. Now I've said it 4 times. But if you had it, I could go hold. But geez, I'd be watching for a close beneath there. 260 cum dividend would be really problematic. Okay, stop typing in new ones. Oh gosh. Tim, I have to do, actually, I've got a couple that asked me earlier on. I want to do these before I go because I always forget Peter. Peter always asks me, and I always forget, and I have to do the charts for him later on, and that's a pain. Peter, Lysex 360, not a great day today, but I just think this is fine. I just think this is such a great chart. It's just a picture of demand. It's a picture of excess demand. There's a little bit of supply up here. Clearly $9, the point of supply. It's so obvious, and we have to deal with it. And we're dealing with it a little bit slowly, but I think it's fine. Happy holder. I can't see any reason to get out of this. Could I buy it? Next white candle. You know, you'll often hear me say that. Next white candle, happy to add some more risk to it. 4DS, this is disappointing for me because I saw this. And when I do my Twitter shortlist, I mean, I don't muck around. I mean, I really seriously think about anything that goes in there, and I really contemplate. And I saw it here, and I saw it here, and I saw it here, and I wanted to put them in, but I just felt it was just a bit too early. I just wanted to see one more, just little test of supply, just test of demand, really. Test of demand, showing of supply, see how the market responded to it, and then a couple of nice candles just doing that. And then I would have put it in. I know I didn't get the chance. Whatever happened here, I wouldn't have a clue, don't care. But look, if you've got it, I think you can hold it. Today's candle's not great. If it was to close at the low of the candle, then I think you'd be really brave not to do a minus 1/3 there. But otherwise, you're still sort of 2/3 remaining on this one. So yeah, it looks fine. I know that's been very popular lately. Audinate, also another one which, hey, we got this one right. We've talked about Wisetech, how bad that was. But this is also, you can see here, the number of times I've run this recently, and then it got a nice pop. And it's one of those few that popped and just kept going. I can't see any reason to sell Audinate. Oh, but Carl, I'm making a lot of money on this one. I should take some profit. I don't know. That's up to you. You do whatever you got to do. But I can't see any reason to sell it. It's just so solid. And as long as these candles keep printing white, lower shadows, it's fine. If you start to see the black ones coming in, you might want to then, and only then, start to take some off the table. But it's an absolute monster. I'm more than a happy holder on that one. Let me whiz through a few. I'm going to pull the pin in literally 60 seconds. So I'm going to try and do as many as I can in that space of time. MMS. Oh, wow. Welcome to earnings season. I didn't see that. Honestly, I didn't see it. Okay. You've heard me. Who has this? Mark. Seriously, Mark, you know the drill. You know that this is a species ending event, Mark. So if you've still got it now, I don't know why. You had plenty of warning. You didn't need me to come up on a Tuesday and tell you that that's a species ending event. What's this, coal? We're doing coal now, are we? No, it's a hold, not great, boring. BFG. Who's Tim? Are you serious? Now Tim's starting to speak my language. Happy holder. Just watch that, Tim. I can see a bit of supply coming in. Trading back below sort of 17.5, 17. Maybe just knocking a little bit out just for safety. Otherwise, fine. Big gap up there. That's nice. Energy one. Happy holder. Looks like a takeover, but I would hold some. If it is a takeover, maybe take some off the table. OML looks okay, boring. I think I did succumb at one stage and put that in my shortlist, but only because it printed so many white candles in a row. I felt I had no choice. PPM, there you go. That one, earnings as well, went the wrong way. No, the species ending event here. So this is let's call it a species ending event on that one, C. So that's an out for me. Can I take a look at? I've run out of time. And there's just too many people in these sessions and too many stocks getting requested. I didn't get too far away. I can see I have covered many of these. For example, Jill's asked for AZS. I've done that. Derek and Colin have asked for MRM. I've done that. Go check the recording. I'd love to be here all day. We did have a discussion yesterday about doing some client-only sessions to cover some of the fact that I can't get through all of these, but you will need to be a client. You'll need to open an account with us, and the best way to do that is to ping Nick. He's in the chat room right now and say, Nick, send me the link. Send me the link to open the account because I want to be part of Carl's clients-only webinars. We're going to do a bunch of education. We'll do a bunch more of this stuff, but it'll catch some of this overflow. And I'll probably pull back on the time of this to strictly an hour because I know I do go over time, and that's going to have less time for people who are here hanging on, freebies, kicking my tires, and more time for the people that open an account with us to get their questions answered. Hey, it's a material world, everybody, and I'm a material girl. The webinars that you can attend with me, they're on screen. Tuesdays, that's today. Client-only ones on the way officially. And Thursday, macro. Definitely attend the macros. That's what's going on with your portfolio right now. And then Fridays in the US. If you're not a client of ThinkMarkets, I've told you why you need to be, so I probably don't need to talk too much more about that. But we are the best in the business here in Australia for HIN and CHESS sponsored. And we also have your CFDs on your futures crypto, commodities, and shares as well. You can trade those commission free. We have the best apps, we have the best platforms, we've got all the awards that you can win, and dedicated customer service manager there, 24/7 support with a phone number on the website. How about that? Head to thinkmarkets.com/au for details, or as I said, Nick is in the chat room right now, and he will send you the link to open the account. Apart from that, it's been a pleasure chatting with you today. Sorry I couldn't get to all of them. Sorry about the technical stuff up at the beginning. But don't worry, I'll be back next Tuesday. All the best for your trading and investing. Till we catch up again. Bye for now. Before you run away, don't forget that everything we have discussed is general in nature, has not taken into account your personal financial circumstances or particular needs. So before acting upon any of that general advice, consider it carefully or seek the help of a financial professional. The rest of the information in this disclaimer is important. You should read it or head to the website, download our product disclosure statement or our financial services guide.